Welcome to the 5-7 podcast. I'm Pri, and I'm joined by my co-host Mike Salinas.
Top of the morning to you, matey.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Hoda Muthana, who is a U.S. citizen who renounced her citizenship to join ISIS, and now she wants to come back. This is an article written on MSN.com, and I'm going to read it, and then we're going to have a discussion about it. An Alabama woman who joined the Islamic State group in Syria won't be allowed to return to the United States with her toddler son because she is not an American citizen, the U.S. said Wednesday. Her lawyer is challenging that claim. In a brief statement, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo gave no details as to how the administration made their determination. Ms. Hoda Muthana, if I said that right, is not a U.S. citizen and will not be admitted into the United States. He said she does not have any legal basis, no valid U.S. passport, no right to a passport, nor any visa to travel to the United States. But Hassan Shibli, a lawyer for the woman, insisted Muthana was born in the United States and had a valid passport before she joined the Islamic State in 2014. He says she has renounced the terrorist group and wants to come home to protect her 18-month-old son, regardless of the legal consequences. She's an American. Americans break the law, said Shibli, a lawyer with the Florida chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations. When people break the law, we have a legal system to handle those kinds of situations, to hold people accountable. And that's all that she's asking for. Muthana and her son are now in a refugee camp in Syria, with others who fled the remnants of the Islamic State. Shibli said that the administration argues that she did not qualify for citizenship because her father was a Yemeni diplomat. But the lawyer said her father had not had diplomatic status for months before her birth in Hackensack, New Jersey. He released a copy of the woman's birth certificate, issued 2 months after her birth in October 1994, to support his claim. President Donald Trump said Wednesday on Twitter that he was behind the decision to deny her entry, tweeting that, "I have instructed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and he fully agrees not to allow Hoda Muthana back into the country." The announcement came a day after Britain said that it was stripping the citizenship of Shamia Begum, a 19-year-old who left the country in 2015 with 2 friends to join the Islamic State and recently gave birth in a refugee camp. It also comes as the U.S. has urged allies to back citizens who joined ISIS but are now in the custody of American-backed forces fighting the remnants of the brutally extremist group that once controlled a vast area spanning parts of Syria and Iraq. Muthana's lawyers said she was just stupid, naive, young, dumb woman when she became enamored of the Islamic State, believing it was an organization that protected Muslims. Shibli said she fled her family in Alabama and made her way to Syria, where she was brainwashed by ISIS and compelled to marry one of the group's soldiers. After he was killed, she married another, the father of her son. After her second husband was also killed, she married a third ISIS fighter, but she became disenchanted with the marriage and decided to escape, the lawyer said. Shibli, based in Tampa, Florida, said he intends to file a legal challenge to the government's decision to deny her entry to the country. Muthana's status has been considered by lawyers from the Departments of State and Justice since her case arose. According to one U.S. official who was not authorized on condition of anonymity, the official would not elaborate but said Pompeo's statement was based on the lawyer's conclusions. The State Department declined to disclose details about her father or Muthana's case, citing privacy law. Most people born in the United States are accorded so-called birthright citizenship, but there are exceptions. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, a person born in the U.S. is an accredited foreign diplomatic officer, is not subject to U.S. law, and is not automatically considered a U.S. citizen at birth. However, Muthana's case is unusual, if not unprecedented, in that she once held a U.S. passport. Passports are only issued to citizens by birth or naturalization, according to Seamus Hughes, the deputy director of the program on extremism at George Washington University, who has studied the phenomenon of foreign Islamic State fighters and families. Hughes said the decision is also unusual because it comes just days after the Trump administration urged European nations to repatriate extremists from Syria as the Islamic State nears collapse. If you are trying to make the case that others should take back their people, it stands to reason that you would do that too. Muthana, who says she dodged sniper fire and roadside bombs to escape, is ready to pay the penalty for her actions, but wants freedom and safety for her son, her lawyer said. In a letter released by Shibli, Muthana wrote that she made a big mistake by rejecting her family and friends in the United States to join the Islamic State. During my years in Syria, I would see and experience a way of life and the terrible effects of war, which changed me. She wrote, to say that I regret my past words, any pain that I caused my family and any concerns I would cause my country would be hard for me to really express properly. Shibli said Muthana was brainwashed online before she left Alabama, now could have a valuable intelligence for U.S. forces, but he said the FBI seemed disinterested in retrieving her from the refugee camp where she is living with her son. Muthana's father would welcome the woman back, Shibli said, but she is not on speaking terms with her mother. Ashfaq Tafiki, who knows Muthana's family and is president of the Birmingham Islamic Society, said the woman could be a valuable resource for teaching young people about the dangers of online radicalization were she allowed to return to the United States. Her coming back could be a very positive thing for our community and our country, Tafiki said.
Wow. That's pretty crazy, man.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I can't believe she's from Hackensack, New Jersey, of all places. I love it there.
Yeah.
Born there, Hackensack.
Well, she was born there, but she was born there, but apparently they moved to Alabama at some time.
You know, I don't know what your stance is on this, but I think I might be playing devil's advocate for this one. I mean, come on, man. It's not like she's kneeling for our national anthem. She joined ISIS. What's the big deal? I mean, maybe ISIS discontinued their 401k match. I mean, I'd be out of that shit too, man. Okay? If I'm not getting my benefits, I'm out of that thing. So she went online, right? She went to datingisis.com or something like that, and she was totally misinformed. We've all been misled at one point or another in our life. I mean, Christopher Columbus, Thomas Edison, O.J. Simpson. We've all been misled, man. We've all been there. And so she got taken advantage of at 19 years old. And she made mistakes. We all make mistakes as teenagers. Some get tattoos, some overdose on packs of sixlets, and some maybe join ISIS. It wasn't a good decision to make. I mean, I don't know the woman, but I think she deserves a second chance. I don't know if you just throw her directly into a suburban area next to Kindergarten Cop or anything like that, but I think you have to have some sort of restriction on her, but I don't see why there can't be some sort of process to get her back into normal U.S. citizenship.
Well, she renounced her citizenship, number one, and considering how hard it is to get citizenship, that's a pretty big deal. And considering that she went and joined a terrorist organization, that's another big deal. That's not a bad decision. That's a grave decision.
Sure.
And it looks like she's definitely paying the price for it now. I mean, I believe that's got to be treason, and treason is still punishable by death. But
you know, people join gangs all the time, and gangs aren't the nicest of groups, and they're still allowed to come back into society. And he's a reborn. He used to be an ex-Blood, ex-Crip, and now he's just changed his life around. What a great guy he is now. But back in the days, he was a real piece of shit. You know, like, how is that okay?
Probably because you don't renounce your citizenship. You know, it's kind of like, I guess in a way, no, never mind. No, it's not. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal.
No, I think it is. I think it is. But dude, when you're 19, I mean, I've done a lot of dumb stuff at a dumb age, and I still do dumb stuff now, and I'm still in my 30s, and I still can't get it right. But I understand definitely that's some serious stuff. But it seems like her family has it somewhat together, right? I mean, she was raised properly, but she got misled on farmersonlydate.com, something to that, and she got misled by some dude. I mean, how many guys mislead women all day long? These guys are like, hey, man, I want you to come over here, check out my hut. It's going to be great. We're going to have a blast.
But think of her decision-making. You know, like what woman in her right mind would want to leave the United States and join ISIS? Think about it. Living in a hole somewhere, you know, and God knows where, in Syria, you know, and you're gonna date some freaking Haji who probably hasn't showered in freaking weeks, And like what is so romantic about that? I mean, there's nothing romantic about it at all. If I take probably every single bad decision I made in my life and I added them up together, it still wouldn't equal the decision that she made.
Right by the turnpike where I leave to go to work, there's a little house. Some guy built his own little home. He's a homeless guy, but he has his own little shelter. He's got a flag up, and I see him walking all the time. And he lives in this little shelter he built by himself. For the past 8 years, I've seen him. All of a sudden, one day, he's got a girl with him. He's got a girlfriend. How does this happen? I don't know. But I'm saying any loser can get a girlfriend.
Okay.
It can happen, man. I mean, women can get totally blinded by what goes on, and guys can lie to them. Oh, guys are pieces of crap, man.
Yeah, I guess. And she has a kid now, so the kid isn't American. He's Syrian. He's a Syrian kid now, I believe. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This looks like one of those things where she has to. I don't know.
She's in a tough spot, man.
That's a really tough spot.
And she's created it all herself, I do think there's got to be some sort of onboarding to bring her back. Maybe she does. I don't know, man. I don't think it's anything worth killing her or putting her in a bad situation or putting the child in danger. But man,
okay, yeah, you're right. Let's play devil's advocate. We'll take both situations. Let's say they let her in. Okay, so what happens? She faces she'll probably face charges, and then her son gets put into the foster home system or the system for kids, which I've heard isn't very good. So then what happens? Is this kid going to be upset at America because we prisoned his mom because she was trying to do the right thing, and then he leaves and he joins ISIS or some terrorist group, because he hates America, because he thinks that it's shitty. And then at the same time, this chick goes to prison, and it's like, okay, that's much better off than being in a refugee camp in Syria.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think if I was his family, I would just raise him as a Latino and just feed him burritos all day. I would make him think that he's Mexican, teach him Spanish, and he wouldn't know the difference, and then just completely erase his past.
Yeah, that's right. Because she does have family, so he could go to the family.
Yeah, she's got family, man, and they seem to be okay people. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, we're just reading off of a freaking story.
I mean, this is happening. This is real. This isn't like, made up. This has been in the news for the past few days.
You mentioned a second. Is there a second person, or was it all the same person?
No. There's another group of I think they're Britons.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They that's a completely different story, and I'm not brought up to speed on that one.
Gotcha. If they're Brits, they shouldn't be allowed back at all. I don't want any Brits over here.
No. They're from Britain, and they want to come back to Britain.
What's up with Britain's flag? What
do you mean?
I don't like it. I just got to say that. I'm sorry for everybody in Britain, but I don't like your flag. It's kind of you're kind of copying off us a little bit, and I don't like it.
Well, if you really think about it, yeah, I guess. Anyway, no, but hold on. We're getting completely. They got
the same color scheme. I don't like it.
There's a lot of people who have the same color scheme.
You're absolutely correct.
Australia does too, I believe.
I don't like their flag either.
So does France. I mean, France is just straight up red, white, and blue, or blue, white, and red, however you want to look at it.
France, those Frenchies, I tell you.
I mean, the Puerto Ricans practically stole the whole thing. They have the stripes, they have the red, white stripes, and they got the star too.
Man, what didn't the Puerto Ricans steal? I mean, come on.
All right, hold on. We're completely going off base here.
All right. We can say this because we are Latinos, so we can talk and poke fun at our Puerto Rican friends.
Or we could use our First Amendment rights and say whatever the hell we want because it's our right. So what do you think? What would you do? What would you do about this chick?
I would put her under house arrest, and I would I think there definitely has to be some interviewing process. Probably there's a lot of interviewing process that's going to have to happen. But I think if it bodes well, maybe there's an opportunity there, because obviously she was a U.S. citizen at some point in time, and she should have to work to get it back. But the option should be there. That's my take on it.
What if she's like a sleeper cell, and all that she needs to do is come back to the United States, feign lame, and give a message to like one important person to start a chain reaction of events.
I guess we would look pretty foolish if that happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, do you think it's just one word? She gives like a green light. There's like a passcode,
I mean, that's all that needs to happen. I mean, there could be people already, stationed here in the United States, and all that they need is word from the upper echelon that the mission is a go, but they can't get it because, I don't know, some dude was killed in an airstrike, so they don't know, so they send her to give the message. I mean, I'm just speaking hypothetically here. I mean, but this stuff can happen,
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to send that message with somebody else, but I think if they're going to want to do something, man, they can find a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, now that you think about it, yeah, they could just send somebody right across the Mexican border because it's not completely manned.
Yeah, they could do that too.
No, not like we need a border wall or anything.
No.
That's another discussion for another time.
It sure is, and I think we're at different ends on that one as well. But yeah, I mean, I think there's an opportunity there for sure. Yeah,
maybe they should. We'll look at both sides. They let her back in. They get the the intelligence that they need from this young lady, and then her kid gets to come to the United States and become Generation Z or whatever.
Yeah, he becomes Gen Z, and they have to enroll in Catholic schooling, and they have to do service hours. That's basically their way they make up to get citizenship back. So they got to work bingo on Friday nights. They got to work the fish fries, and they got to do a bunch of other stupid stuff for Catholic Schools Week.
Yeah, maybe that'll work too. I guess
that's punishment right there. You got to work the concession stand.
Working market day.
Yeah. I hated market day.
Yeah, I think everybody did. Yeah, but anyways, dude, I say they let her back in. They let her back in, get your information, help a kid, I guess. And then
if she didn't have a kid, I would say to hell with her. But I think that the child is the portion that kind of like hits me in the soft spot a little bit there.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's what gets me too. Why I'm kind of like so hesitant, because I mean, everybody wants to help kids, and if you can, I guess, right or wrong, and put this kid in a position to become successful, or be some kind of a not pillar of society, but a contributor to our society, then yeah, sure. But then again, if you think about it, I mean, her parents raised this chick who ran off to ISIS. What makes you think they're not going to raise another one who's going to do the same thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, how many pieces of shit can this family really raise? I mean, obviously plenty.
So I don't know.
I'm going to need to know more about her siblings. If she has siblings, I need to know what they're doing. Like, oh, well, he works at Google. He owns this. He owns that. She was just the black sheep of the family. Nobody really liked her.
She was the middle child.
Yeah, like, oh, God, well, that explains a ton. So if I get some more insight on that information, I could make a more qualitative assessment of the situation.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, so I say let her back in and take it from there. But then again, well, here's another thing. We let her back in. That sets another precedent. When other people are like, oh, I can do the same thing. I can join ISIS. I can leave. I can get pregnant. I can have a kid. And then guess what? America's going to let me right back in. And then you're going to have and you know that there's going to be others. There's going to be others. Especially if you let one get away with it.
Right. You let one person cut in line, they all want to cut the line.
Yeah, or not that you let them cut, but you let them cut one time. What they're going to want to do is they're going to want to cut every day. They're going to want to cut all the time. Or someone else is going to see that and they're going to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe he'll let me cut too. Yeah. Let's go by Mike. He'll let us cut. Let's go back to it. Let's go do this. Let's go to America. They'll let us come back in. They're Americans. They're stupid. All we got to do is give them some information about what we were doing here, and then they'll give us $20,000, and then we'll go on about our merry way back in America. We'll be in Yankee Stadium in 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a case-by-case situation. I don't. I would hope that people wouldn't do that, and they would be treated accordingly. But and it wouldn't run rampant, the situation. But I would still give this woman the opportunity to come on back.
And now that I think about it, maybe she should stay.
Yeah. Like I said, man.
I'd like to help the kid, but what happens? I don't want to set a precedent for others.
No, I definitely see both ways with it, but yeah, that's kind of where I lean, though.
Okay, I guess we can let her back in.
And actually, we are the final decision on this whole situation.
No kidding. Yeah,
Donald
they're
Trump,
listen to us.
Move forward, Donald Trump, because we just gave you the okay.
Yeah. So I wonder who has the authority on this. Is it Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, or does the president have the final say?
Pompeo, Peo.
That's the end of this discussion. So, we had our Mike Lever interview.
Yeah, that was some good stuff.
Really great. He was a great interview. He was excellent to talk to. He's a patriot. He's somebody that went out there and did a full 18-year career in the military, and literally was out there on the front lines fighting for freedom. And he's somebody that everybody should look into to maybe get to know him and see what he's done a bit, and support his veteran owned and veteran operated company that he's got at Fieldcraft Survival in Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah, no, that he's got a ton of followers on Instagram, and they're getting a lot of support and a lot of love to the 5-7 podcast. So we do appreciate everyone that's been coming over and checking out the podcast and checking out this episode as well. Hope and get you fired up and enjoy it.
Yeah, we're very appreciative.
Yeah, and don't take me too serious, man. I'm just fucking around a little bit here. For everybody out there that thinks everyone that wants to go attack me on Twitter and find my old tweets, don't do it, please. They're bad. They're really bad. Don't go find my old tweets.
I'd like to see what they got to tell you.
I know it'd probably be good stuff, but yeah, man, rock out.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. Everybody, take it easy, be safe, and this is Mike and Puri out.